Have you ever felt like you're looking at a magic trick? For over a century, the world has been captivated by this place. Machu Picchu, the lost city in the clouds. Because while we were all looking up at this mountaintop masterpiece, the real secret, the one that explains how they truly ruled, was buried deep beneath their capital city, Cusco. A place so terrifying, the government sealed it with explosives. A place people entered and never returned from. Now, after 150 years of silence, science has just peeled back the earth. And what they've found doesn't just rewrite history, it exposes the secret Machu Picchu was meant to hide. A tale of two cities. The deception of Machu Picchu. The breathtaking lost city that Hiram Bingham unveiled to the world in 1911 captured global imagination, but it may have also drawn attention away from deeper, older mysteries hidden in the Andes. A true feat of engineering, it was a royal retreat so secluded that the Spanish never managed to discover it. It became the icon of the Inca, and that's the problem. We've been looking at a vacation home, a stunning, sacred, incredible vacation home, but a peripheral site nonetheless. The true source of their power, the operational core of the entire empire, was never lost. It was hidden, deliberately. Imagine a secret, subterranean highway beneath the capital, used only by the emperor, his priests, and his elite soldiers. A network that connected the holiest temple to the mightiest fortress, allowing the levers of power to move in total darkness, unseen by the common people. That is the real secret. Whispers from the underworld, beneath the Inca's most sacred city. Before science ever got involved, there were the stories. They spoke of the Chincanas. In the local Quechua language, the name itself is a warning. It means the place where one gets lost. And people did. The stories are chilling. Tales of treasure hunters and curious explorers who stepped into the darkness beneath the city and were simply never seen again. They became ghosts, swallowed by the earth. The most famous legend, the one that fueled centuries of obsession, tells of a group that went in. Days, maybe weeks passed. Silence. Then, a single terrified man stumbled out of a hidden exit, deep within the walls of the Santo Domingo Church. Before he died, he was clutching a single object, a solid gold ear of corn. Proof of an unimaginable treasure hidden below, the lost gold from the Temple of the Sun. These weren't just campfire stories. The disappearances and deaths were so frequent that in the 1840s, the government took drastic action. They used stone and blasting charges to close off the site, sealing every entrance they knew of. They blew them shut, walling off the mystery from the world. In doing so, they didn't just entomb the legends. They accidentally created a perfect time capsule. Ancient texts and forgotten maps pointed to the hidden truth. Inca Garcilaso de la Vega, born of Spanish lineage and Inca royalty, described subterranean streets and passageways that bound the city together. Coming from him, the claim held unusual credibility, lending the legend a foundation in history. But the real treasure map came from an anonymous Jesuit priest in 1594. His forgotten text was more than a story. It was a set of directions. It described, with shocking precision, a primary tunnel. It started at the Coricancha, the great temple of the sun, passed under the cathedral, and ended at the colossal fortress of Sacsayhuaman, looming over the city. For centuries, this was just a tantalizing piece of a historical puzzle, a 400-year-old clue to a lost world. No one knew if it was real, but it gave modern researchers a target. They now had a map, written by a ghost from the 16th century, pointing to a very specific line running directly beneath the living city of Cusco. The hunt was on. Scientists use radar to peel back the Earth's skin, uncovering everything. This is where the story jumps from the 16th century straight into the 21st. A team of Peruvian archaeologists, Dr. Jorge Calero Flores and Dr. Mildred Fernandez Palomino decided to finally solve the mystery. But they couldn't just start digging up a UNESCO World Heritage City. They had to see without seeing. Their first step was brilliantly simple. It was called acoustic prospecting. Following the Jesuit map as their guide, they moved step by step, striking the earth at half-meter intervals, pausing each time to listen for what might lie hidden below. Just listening. In certain spots, the sound changed. It became deeper, hollower, an echo from a void beneath the stone and asphalt. They were hearing the ghosts of the tunnels. That's when they brought in the heavy artillery. A state-of-the-art, ground-penetrating radar system. It fires bursts of electromagnetic energy into the ground, piecing together a three-dimensional image of whatever may be hidden below. They focused the device on the spots where the echoes rang strongest. What emerged stunned them. On the monitors, shapes slowly resolved. Straight edges, deliberate angles, walls, a roof, a floor. An enclosed passage stretching not just meters, but hundreds of meters. This was no natural cavern, no forgotten drain. It was precisely what the old tales had whispered about. The Chincanas existed, the blueprint of a secret empire, hidden deep beneath the streets. The radar didn't just prove the tunnels existed, it gave us the blueprint of the Incas' hidden world. The data revealed a primary artery, a massive tunnel running for over 1,750 meters, more than a mile. It connects the Coricancha, the religious soul of the empire, directly to Sacsayhuaman, its military and ceremonial fist. The tunnels are buried just a few meters beneath the modern streets. They are about 1.6 meters high, just enough for a person to stoop, but perfectly sized to carry the Sapa Inca himself on a royal litter. This wasn't a crawl space, it was an elite corridor, and the scans showed more than a single tunnel. At least 3 main corridors branched away from the central passage, linking palaces and sacred hubs across the city. This was no mere shortcut, it was an underground web, a hidden lifeline carved with the same flawless stonecraft seen at Machu Picchu, resilient against earthquakes and centuries alike. The Incas had shaped 2 Cuscos, one thriving under the sun, and another reserved for the powerful, veiled in the sanctity of the earth. This is not just a tunnel, it's the key to everything. So why build it? This is where the discovery completely eclipses Machu Picchu. That beautiful estate shows us what the Inca could build. These tunnels show us how they ruled. Think about the functions. First, it was a sacred highway, a physical manifestation of the Uku Pacha, the underworld. Priests could move between the empire's holiest sites, transporting sacred mummies and offerings, completely hidden from public view. Their rituals remained potent, mysterious, and powerful. Secondly, it served as the empire's hidden artery. Through these passages, the emperor and his nobles could glide across the capital unseen. No parades, no vulnerability, only silence and security. Power flowed like an underground river, unseen yet absolute. In these tunnels, the empire's true hierarchy was carved into stone. The Chincanas weren't only pathways, they were instruments of control, keeping authority hidden, insulated, untouchable. Above, the people walked streets of sun and stone. Below, in silence and shadow, the empire's decisions were made. The real Cusco was not on the surface. It pulsed in the dark. And finally, it was the empire's hidden blade. In moments of crisis, the tunnels became lifelines, an escape for the emperor, a covert highway for deploying elite warriors where enemies least expected them. But more than soldiers, they carried secrets. Suddenly, the tales of golden corn and hidden treasure are no longer myth. They are strategy, etched into the bedrock. The heart is about to be opened. So here we are. For a century, We have stared in awe at a mountaintop palace, believing it was the greatest discovery. But it was a beautiful distraction. The true revelation, the secret to how the Inca elite commanded their world, was waiting silently beneath their feet the entire time. The next phase is about to begin. The archaeologists are planning to physically enter the tunnels for the first time in over a century and a half. This isn't just an excavation, it's the opening of a time capsule. Since it was sealed with explosives, it has been completely protected from the modern world. What's down there? Undisturbed ritual offerings? The tools of the priests? The lost treasures of the empire? We are about to find out. But the legends also whisper of danger. Sealed air, toxic gases, the very real perils that claimed so many lives before. The greatest secret of the Inca is no longer where they went to relax. It's how they moved in the shadows. We've found the arteries of the empire, and for the first time, we're about to see what flows inside.